It's not possible.
I didn't say it would be easy, Neo.
Looks like him. Okay.
Is that Anthony?
Yeah, it looks like him.
Why does he have sunglasses on?
He's got eyeglasses.
But it has a tint to it.
You might press the mute button.
All right, please introduce yourself, state your name and DOC number for the record.
Anthony Baskell, 383958.
And Anthony, my name is Brendan Kelsey. Along with me is Ms. Cheryl Knotts and Mr. Pete Freeman will be your panel. Explain the process to you, read some information to the record, have a parole interview, ask you some questions, you can respond. At the end, you can make a statement. We'll take a vote. You understand the process?
Yes, sir.
And we have Mr. Randy Meyer that'll be here, that's here. They'll speak at the appropriate times. Kim Logrigus, Lana Heller, and Terry Walters, who will speak at the appropriate times. We have Carrie Myers, Nora Sanderson, Daryl Waters, and Sydney Anderson. Anthony Pascal, DOC number 383958, first class offender. Parole eligibility date 8/1/2023, good time 3/9/2044, full term 7/10/2094, 99-year sentence, first degree murder. And you were had commutation to 99 years by the governor, signed on August the 1st, 2023. Does that sound correct?
Yes, sir.
Would you please answer Ms. Renatz's question?
Yes, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Baskell.
Good morning, ma'am.
How you doing today?
Humble, nervous.
Yeah, sure. Understandably so. So, as mentioned, your sentence was commuted, but your original pardon hearing was back in 2021 in December.
Yes, ma'am.
At that time, you got a unanimous vote to recommend commutation of your sentence. And that was based on favorable recommendations by the warden, good programs. You had a low risk score, the community service work that you do as an inmate counsel, and your transition plan was with the parole project. Your sentence was, the recommendation was that your sentence be commuted to 99 years with parole eligibility after having served 30 years. And you haven't served 30 years yet. However, I think you became parole eligible under a different act.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
that's why we're here today. It's just a little bit earlier. So since your parole hearing, your pardon hearing in 2021, has anything in your status whatsoever changed?
Mrs. Jackson and Mr. Roche had recommended that, or asked, said they would have liked to see me take more substance abuse and not just all AA. So since then, I have enrolled in a long-term STR program with Ms. Lori Stone. I've completed that program. I've taken IC3, completed levels 1, 2, and 3, and became master certified. And I've also renewed my CPR certification.
So you've been busy the last couple of years.
Yes, ma'am.
What's the most important thing that you got out of the STR program?
There were many different books that we take throughout that course, by it being a long-term course. Probably out of one of the books about boundaries, high-risk situations, high-risk people, to know your signs, to not be scared to ask for help. If you feel something's wrong, surround yourself with sober people, first and foremost, people that don't think with the criminal element, or people that are basically on the right track doing the right things, to have a strong support system around yourself so you don't relapse or put yourself in a situation where you can be triggered, or to just identify signs of bad behavior in others. And it made sense. A lot of it made sense. One of the main things I remember them saying was, How we live is what we learn. What we learn is what we practice. What we practice is what we become. And what we become has consequences. If you're doing the right thing, obviously you don't end up in a position like I'm in.
So if you had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Heller's family, what would you say?
That I'm ashamed and disgusted and embarrassed to have to admit that I ever was the person I was. There ain't a day goes by that I don't think about them and what I put them through. I know that my actions and choices affected a lot of people, ruined a lot of lives, traumatized a lot of people. So I do what I do to sure make something good came out of it. I mean, she was supposed to grow old with her husband, and me and my co-defendants took that from her. And I
So
wish I could change it.
if you were successful with parole today, what is your plans to give back?
Well, I'm gonna join immediately a 12-step program. I'm gonna try to sponsor people. I'd like to get with law enforcement agencies. I'm sure that they do outreaches where they speak to troubled youth and even those that before they start becoming troubled. And I'd like to participate and help them in that kind of thing and tell my story and how one or multiple of bad choices and your choice in friends and all of that can affect so many different people in so many different ways. Just try to make sure somebody else don't ever do what I've done.
Right. Let me ask Warden Falgout, is there anything you'd like to say to us about Mr. Baskell?
You know, he continued since his pardon to work at programming. In addition to his inmate counsel work, working in the paint shop. We had institutional need for a transfer. We back in April moved him to the ranch house to work as an orderly and work around the ranch house. He's done a good job for us up there, which is a trusted position as well. So he's done well for us.
Thank you. And I have no other questions, Mr. Kelsey.
All right.
Sure. Just one question, Mr. Baskell. What was the contraband that you had in 2016?
A DVD player, sir.
Okay. Wasn't drugs or alcohol?
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, we're here for Mr. Kerry Myers.
Yes, good morning. Kerry Myers with Louisiana Parole Project. We're here to support Mr. Baskell long term. He was 21 years old when he committed the offense he was involved in. It's not a juvenile, but it's not a full-fledged adult either. That does not excuse his behavior, and you can see the remorse that he has and the shame and the guilt that he carries with it. He can't change that. But what he did change was himself on a consistent basis. You can see his level of trust that he has there. What's also impressive is since his recommendation, he has not rested on that recommendation alone. He has continued to work to improve himself, getting involved in the STAR program, completing IC3. We're here to provide him full support through our transition services and also through our employment opportunity program, enhancement program. He's already got potential employment. We will continue to, if that is viable, but if not, he has the skills, and our employment enhancement program staff will work with him there. We are prepared to provide him long-term housing and support. And we just asked this board to grant us parole today.
All right, thank you. Here for Mr. Norris Anderson.
Good morning. I echo pretty much what Kerry's saying, that the first 72 is here, especially because we're in the region that he's going to relocate to if he don't stay with carrying him for an extended period of time. We just wanted the board to know that we're here to support him every step of the way on his journey.
Right, thank you so much. All right, now we'll hear from Ms. Heller.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
go ahead. Brief
Okay.
statement.
Wayna Heller.
Okay, go ahead and make your statement, Miss Heller.
My mother died to save my life. This was a Friday. I got a call. My mother had died of a massive heart attack. Harry and I were going on a cruise on Saturday. I told him to go ahead and go on the cruise. I'm going to bury my mother. If she had not done that, I would have been at the house. They would have killed, Anthony would have killed me first, thinking Harry might die of a heart attack. I'm so distraught. For 28 years, I have nobody but my husband. Nobody has compared to him. And for Anthony to execute him, execution style, and they went to Gilligan's after they murdered him, and they had a new drink, pushing up daisies, and they all laughed about that. And I'm so distraught. For 28 years, I have to take anxiety medication. I have to take depression medication all that time. And I've upped it over the years.
Yes, ma'am. I'm so sorry. So sorry to hear that. Miss Terry, would you like to make a statement? Miss Terry, are you there? Would you? She couldn't log in. She couldn't log in. Okay, I'm sorry. We're going to listen to you, Miss Terry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Just to echo what Ms. Howell was saying, Anthony has taken no responsibility for any part of this, even though he confessed that he did it. He's then taken no responsibility for anything that's happened to him while he was in prison, to the shootings, to the guns that he had, to nothing. It's very worrisome to me that he will commit full crimes if he gets out. Maybe against me or Ms. Heller. And I just do not feel like he has learned anything from this experience.
Yes, ma'am. So sorry. Thank you for your comment. All right, Mr. Randy Meyer.
Good morning and good to see you back, Ms. Renata. We are strongly opposed to Mr. Baskel's release. He shot Mr. Heller in the head, point blank range. And to suggest that because somebody's 21 years old, he doesn't know right from wrong and should be excused for committing such a heinous crime is disingenuous at best. He knew what he was doing, that they had a plan to go there and rob Mr. Heller, and he shot him in the head. He was sentenced to life without parole. And the pardon board, as y'all pointed out, gave a recommendation which the governor agreed with and commuted his sentence to 99 years with 30 years of serving his sentence before he became parole eligible. I think this panel, although he is parole eligible under a different act, I think this panel should stand by that pardon board recommendation and the governor's recommendation. He was sentenced to life without parole. He should not get parole until at the earliest after the commutation of sentence provisions. Since that hearing back in December of 21, it's good to see that he's involved in the STR program. I think that's very beneficial to him and give him kudos for that. But the record indicates that he's enrolled in victim awareness, but never completed the victim awareness courses. And obviously you saw there was very strong victim opposition. And one thing that bothers me is, and I agree with what Mr. Baskel said, he said, when you get out, you got to have good support system to help you get through things and to keep you on the straight and narrow, to keep you off of the drugs and the alcohol. There's no family support here. He has no support system here at all, except the parole project and Mr. Henderson, those two folks. So for those reasons, we don't think he's ready to be released, and we're opposed to his request.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Baskel, would you like to make a statement on your behalf?
I would, I understand and I empathize with what the family says and what the DA says. I'm going to continue walking forward in a positive manner. My prayer that what I've done kind of shows that I'm not the same individual that I once was. And thank you.
All right, thank you. Panel fair to vote?
Yes.
Ms. Renach.
Mr. Baskel, as I look at your program, record of programs, did you complete the victim awareness?
I have
I saw an administrative removal in 2022 and enrolled in July of 23. Did you finish?
I'm taking it presently. We're going into session 10 now, ma'am.
Okay.
Ms. Renata, this is Warden Ballard real quick. According to our records here, it shows where he began it in June of 22, and then an end date, he was removed, yes, in 2022. But he's taking it now and should complete it prior to.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Baskel, I wanted to mention too, we did get positive remarks from Warden Ambo as well.
Thank you.
She felt like he would really do well in society. I voted for you before. I'm going to vote for you again. I would vote to grant you parole, but only after you complete the victim awareness program.
Yes, ma'am.
To the parole project, you have, of course, good programs. You have a low risk score. I've already mentioned the community service work, and I have confidence in your transition plan with the parole project. The only special condition I would add would be that you have no contact with the Heller family and that you do community service work 8 hours.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Freeman.
Okay, I agree with Ms. Renata. You have done well. You've done a lot of things since we had the hearing, which I was not here at that time. But I also am going to vote to grant and that you need to attend the parole project and follow all of their rules and recommendations. If y'all have any trouble with it, Mr. Myers, y'all let us know.
All right, you have 2 votes to grant your parole. I'm also going to vote to grant your parole today for the work you've done, the time you put in, and positive institutional record. Warden's comments. You're going to report to the parole project. You'll have a curfew from 10 p to 6 a. You'll have no contact with the Heller family. You'll have 8 hours of community service, and you'll go to NAAA 2 times a week. Do you understand the stipulations?
Yes, sir.
3 votes to grant. Your parole's been granted. Good luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
We need clarification.